Hi, I'm Brennan Grace, and this is my audience. My topic is why college athletes should be paid. Would you work 40 hours a week and not get paid? If you would, then you should be a college athlete. Everybody managing, recruiting, and promoting these players make money. Why shouldn't the ones providing the entertainment also make money? There's three reasons why I believe college athletes should be paid. Without them, there is no college sports, obviously, because they're the sole providers and entertainers that make the NCAA money. So the NCAA would cease to exist. Another reason is a fair day's work equals a fair day's pay, where like a normal person would work their job, and then if they do their job correctly and work hard, then they would get paid, which NCAA players don't. And that the NCAA is a big business. The highest grossing sports last year were men's football and men's basketball. And the Huffington Post said that the NCAA made $989 million dollars. Not 1 cent went to the players unless it was an illegal transaction. And they had $80 million dollars in surplus, which could have went to players, but instead it was donated. Bobby Rush, who is a Democratic representative from Illinois, said, "Of course, student athletes should be paid. We should have flipped the question and say, why shouldn't student athletes be paid?" He also says that without them on the field or court, performing and entertaining millions of college sports fans and the billions of dollars that these college athletics generate would not exist. And his last quote was, "Consumers paying top dollar for sports paraphernalia, jerseys, and video games bearing the likeness and autographs of their favorite college players." That means that these college players aren't getting paid for what is related to them. So, say you buy a jersey of a certain number of a certain player on whatever team. None of that money from that jersey sale goes to that player as it would in the NFL, which I find wrong because they should get paid for what is related to them, just like video games or anything else that has the player's certain traits on it or anything related to him or her they should get paid for that, which they don't. My second point is a fair day's work is a fair day's pay. Ramoni Humangi is the founder of the National Players Association, and he said that college athletes spend 40 plus hours per week of labor in their sport alone. And again, they don't get paid for that, so they have their sport time and their study time, and they obviously can't have a job while they're doing this because their time is too tied up. So they just, I don't know, they have to figure out their money situation for things besides tuition and room and board. Going on to the college expenses, they're obviously way more expensive than your full ride scholarship because you have your car payment, gas, food when food wherever you eat at your school is closed. You can't eat, so I mean you just kind of have to figure things out because they have no other way of making money. College sports equals big business. Brian Frederick, who is a board member of the Sports Fans Coordination, said that if a student athlete is hurt or unsuccessful in their sport, the coaches and administrators suddenly discard the noble ideas of education, and the player is left with nothing. What that means is that if a player doesn't perform to what the school wants them to, or their academics are subpar, or they get hurt, they can lose that full ride scholarship and have to pay tuition. And for some people, they can't afford to do that, or they have to take out a loan in advance to pay for school. So I mean, it's really it's a system that's flawed because people get hurt and lose all that money, and then they're just kind of thrown out there because nobody really cares about them anymore because they're not doing the job that they're supposed to. Brian also said that this leads to corruptions because elite players would get more money illegally because they're doing a better job of performing or their academics or anything. So there's 5 examples of this. Cam Newton, his father, asked for $180,000 from Mississippi State, which he didn't even go to Mississippi State. He went to Florida first. So he got in trouble for that because his father obviously can't ask for money for him going to a certain school. Ohio State players selling their rings. This has to go with the idea of paraphernalia and sports related things because a bunch of Ohio State players a couple years ago they sold their rings and autographs and like signed helmets and stuff online, and they got in trouble for that because they're not allowed to sell anything related to their personal brand and make money off of it. So they all got suspended for that, which I find to be very wrong. Reggie Bush, he got in trouble because he won the Heisman in 2005, and he had to give it back, which is the Heisman is the most prestigious trophy in college football, because he took $300,000 worth of gifts and money from marketing agents and NFL personnel because they wanted to, get his brand established before he got out of school. Uh, Agent confesses to paying players, which is obviously illegal. He paid 30 college football players in the span of 6 years, and there was including big names like Ryan Leaf, who was also a Heisman winner at Washington. And North Carolina suspended 12 players for a scandal-ridden season where 5 players were kicked off the team from taking money from agents. And not on this list, but another big one was the SMU scandal, and they got the death penalty, which is where your school can't go to a bowl game for, I think it's like a span of 5 to 10 years, and you lose like half your scholarships. So it's no joke when you get in trouble for this type of issue. So in conclusion, just remember that the NCAA students should be paid because without athletes, there's not an NCAA. So you lose your athletes, you don't have any money coming in anyways. So I don't see why you wouldn't pay the people generating all your money. Big businesses should be treated in college as they are in the pros, which players get paid for, being at training camp. Players get paid a certain salary based on how good they are, which I think should, transfer over into the college spectrum. And that the college players should be paid for what they work for. They work 40 plus hours a week, just like everybody else does, like me and you. So they should just be paid for that because it's kind of illegal not to. They say it's amateurism, but they're not really amateurs if they're on a pro scale like this at a college level. So yeah, that's my idea on college sports and players should be getting paid. Thank you.